was Steve Wilks is going to have a location change. There were a lot of maybe fans talking about this before I saw that someone called in, but then they went away and their face went away. So I don't know. I hope that no one's creepy. I've never done a call-in show before. I don't think that the person's creepy, but lastly, before I add NinerGang on here, Kyle Shanahan said that Steve Wilks is going to be calling plays from the sideline. Now, I don't necessarily think that this is going to help in the same way that fans want it to. I think that some fans really hope that Steve Wilks is going to be more of a Robert Saleh or D'Amico, where he's bringing the hype and the energy. And I think what actually is going to happen is potentially it could help with the communication between Kyle Shanahan and Steve Wilks. And currently, when Steve Wilks was up in the booth, he transferred all his plays to a guy named Johnny Holland, who's the linebackers coach, who then gave the orders, or not the orders, but the play call to Fred Warner, who was on the field. And now there might be a more direct line of communication between Steve Wilks and Fred Warner, or even if he's still communicating it to Johnny Holland, they're going to be right there in person. And potentially if there's, 3 seconds where they're trying to work things out, you can kind of assess someone's vibe better if you're just like looking at them and you just saw the play call or you just saw the last play together. So maybe the communication within the personnel will be a little bit better, but I don't necessarily think fans should expect some like super hyper change. But we're going to add on 49er gang. He looks outside. It looks really nice out. Sunset. Hi, how are you doing?
Good, Ash. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Did you hear about any of the updates from practice that Kyle Shanahan just had his press conference a little bit ago? How are you feeling about the bye week and the Jags game coming up?
Well, I haven't got to listen to nothing with what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch did today. I just barely caught your notifications. So I figured I'd hop on here, and I've been
Thank you
seeing
so
you pop up
much.
a lot. And I've been trying to catch up with you and as far as start following your content and stuff because it's great content, and I always love to
I
see
appreciate
the female's opinion of this stuff. My wife doesn't
it.
have too hot of an opinion of it. My wife asks me if I dream
Yeah.
about football all the time. But
Yeah.
anyways, um,
I'm right there with me. My roommate is like could care less about football. Like she cares about it because I do, but I'll be like, Steve Wilkes is moving to the booth, and she's like, that means nothing to me, Ashley. I'm like,
absolutely nothing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But,
So
to your question, as far as the bye week goes, I'm just kind of a little frustrated with them, like, hey, we're tired now, it's always something, it seems like,
yeah,
right? Last year it was, oh, all these players didn't do training camp and all these players didn't do the mini camp and this, and it's always some sort of excuse. Then let's just call it for what it is,
yeah.
is the players are not playing to their full potential for whatever that reason may be, whether they're tired or not. Everybody else in the NFL is tired too.
Everyone's tired, right?
Yeah,
Like they're
exactly.
not the only team that's played this many games. Yeah,
It's
that's
week
important.
9. It's week 9. People are tired. People are hurt. We've been very, very fortunate, knock on wood, that our
Yeah,
injuries have been minimal, thank God,
yeah.
but as far as this Jags defense, Jag game goes, is if we can't contain Trevor Lawrence, he's just going to do exactly what Joe Burrows did to us. And I don't see how we're going to do that because nothing's changed in our
And
DBs.
Trevor Lawrence is even, I think, maybe a little bit more mobile than Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow randomly, I felt like was pretty mobile in the game he played against us, but normally that's not like he can escape, but normally that's not how people would describe Joe Burrow as like mobile. So
Yeah, no, Joe Burrow is his mobility, I would think, is kind of along the same lines as Brock Purdy. They're not runners, but they're great scramblers in the pocket. They can elude,
yeah,
that first defender coming at him. But Trevor Lawrence, he's kind of on that level with Josh Allen, if you ask me. He'll try to run over a dang, linebacker, thinking
yeah,
he's
like hurdle someone.
yeah, and it's just
Oh my
like,
god, how heartbreaking! You just like see Trevor Lawrence like hurdle Dre Greenlaw, and you're like, no.
man. And Trevor Lawrence coming out of college, man, that dude was a stud. I watched him at Clemson. I don't watch a whole lot of college ball whatsoever, but when I hear big names start popping up, I tune into him, and man, that kid's a stud and he's doing great things, and whatever they got cooking over in Jacksonville, it's working,
It's kind
and
of interesting too, like the Trent Baalke aspect of it. Like he left the Niners kind of in disarray, and now the 49ers are going to go back to Jacksonville, and it's kind of like this pivotal game where you feel like if they lose, then there's going to be this feeling of like doom around the 49ers. Now I do have to remind myself, the 49ers in was it 2022? They ended up losing 4 straight. They were on a 3
yep.
game losing streak, went into a bye week, and then they lost against the Colts, who sucked that year, against Carson Wentz, who also sucked, and he just balled out in the rain. Someone yesterday in Stephanie and I's show said that it might rain in Jacksonville, but I checked and it didn't seem like that should be a factor. But I agree, it could be an interesting storyline. But I hope that the 49ers turn it around. How do you feel about the Jags defensive line? Because I feel like when we're talking about Trent Baalke, he made such a mistake with the Trayvon Walker pick. Like, holy crap, he overthought that one. Because Aiden Hutchinson, which was the guy who was supposed to go number one, has been balling out for the Lions, and Walker really hasn't done much. But yeah.
I think that if Trent Williams is back, please be back. By the way, if Trent Williams is back, I think we'll be able to sustain it. Give Brock a little bit of time. But with Aaron Banks out, and then if Trent's not playing, we could be in for a really
Yeah, that
really
less
long
time.
day, and it could be really really rough on Brock because I mean they've been getting home. They got quite. I can't remember what their sack at what number they're ranked at as sacks per the season, but I know they're up there pretty good.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's kind of hard, right? Because I feel like as fans, or like a criticism that I've had of Brock is kind of that he's doing too much. Like I've kind of felt like, okay, you need to do less, Brock. Like your job is just to efficiently run the offense, not put it all on you. But then if we think about it, if Aaron Banks and Trent Williams do end up, if Trent doesn't end up playing, then the 49ers love to run to the left. That's going to take away a lot of their run game. If the run game's not working, now they can't do play action and their pass game isn't working as effectively. Luckily, I think Debo will be back, so maybe that will help a little bit with opening up Christian McCaffrey if we want to use, if Kyle Shanahan wants to utilize him more as a wide receiver. But yeah, I could definitely see that being an issue. Just putting all the pressure back on Brock, and then with his tendency to give the ball away recently, that could be a problem against the Jaguars. So hopefully Trent Williams plays. I'm not like, I feel like even if he doesn't practice, I'm not someone who ever rolls out Trent Williams until like game day, because he's one of those guys that Kyle Shanahan will play no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Trent, he can show up Sunday ready to go, and everything will be fine on his side. But he just got to be ready to go. That's the key factor. And then, question for you: what
Yeah.
is your thoughts on